Listen, a lot of discussion about Brandon Aiyuk and potential deals being on the table for him and general structure of deals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? And how does that read to most people? Does that mean that they're trying to trade him? No, it means they don't want to trade him. But like, look, if your best options are not in DC, right? Your best options are not in DC where he wants to be. And instead, it's Cleveland where you have a fading quarterback who does not appear to be nearly as good as he was several years ago, or New England, who's devoid of wide receivers, but also a lot of questions about quarterback and about offense in general. It's just like one of those threats. And this is a real thing. You can go to those teams. You could be the man. You could potentially make somewhere near the money you want to make. But what you're going to give up is a chance to play in the Super Bowl with San Francisco 49ers. That's what it feels like. That's where it feels the Niners are as a team. Hey, man, look, if you really, really want to get out of here, here are the teams that are viable options for you. Of those teams, just you might want to note to self, hey, we're not going to a Super Bowl with any of these teams. And then it's as much as you say, that sounds great. I'd like to do it. I want out of here. Trade me right now. I want to get the money that I deserve. That's not how it always works, right? Yes, you can get the money, but it might not be in a team that you want. Hey, I want to play for this team. Well, that team's like, well, then we're not really interested at the price that he wants to pay, that he wants us to pay. So again, if it's me, I stay on a winner as long as I can. Remember, he's in the last year of his contract. Barring injury, he's going to get a new deal. In terms of will that deal get anywhere near the money that he wants? Apparently not, unless he's willing to go on a lower level team or a team that's not competitive to play for a Super Bowl. So that's it's fascinating to me what happens. What would you choose? Ilo, I give you a choice. You can either play with the San Francisco 49ers on your current deal and then explore free agency options or a franchise tag after the season's over. Or I have to go to an inferior team that we don't really know who the quarterback's going to be or what it's actually going to be like. I mean, look, we saw Tyreek Hill. Things have worked out really well financially for him. The team has gone on to win 2 Super Bowls without him. Right? So in that case, you're right. It doesn't always work that way. You know, the Vikings had a super talented wide receiver. They traded him and got Justin Jefferson. And instead, now they've locked in on Justin Jefferson to be their guy in perpetuity. We have seen this before. We have seen teams get rid of a guy who wanted a bunch of money and end up going to the Super Bowl without him. The difference is the timing of it is really crummy. And for him, it's going to be a sacrifice. The sacrifice is super simple. Sacrifice is you'll make more money, you'll make the money or close to the money you want, but what you give back in return is the chance to pay for a Super Bowl. And everybody says, hey, I'm a professional, I just want to make money. If you're a competitive dude, you don't want to play in a team that's going to get mollywomped. And the Patriots are going to get mollywomped. And the Browns are going to get mollywomped. And the Niners do the mollywomping. That's a powerful thing. Now, it stands to reason that he wants to go to Washington, and Washington's not going to be great, but what makes up for it is that's his home area. That's his boy who's the quarterback. But if you think winning doesn't matter to all these guys and it's just simply about money, I give you Devontae Adams, right? All he's ever wanted to do is be a Raider. And he was like, yeah, I don't know about this stuff. This is not fun. You can be the city you want to be in, play for the franchise you want to play in, you make all the money you want, but if you're losing, it just sucks. It just sucks. By the way, it's 42-34 with 4:03 remaining in the second quarter. Second quarter has been played at a much slower pace than the first quarter. I don't know what they're arguing back and forth. They're going to the monitor here. Joel Embiid looked really good in the first quarter. Second quarter, not as much, but part of it is Steph Curry keeps turning the ball over anytime he's double teamed on a ball screen. So I actually think this was one where Joel Embiid was playing really well, and they went to their bench and over subbed and subbed Team USA out of their rhythm. And you can do that. That's a hard one when you're coaching. You know, it's like the old adage in baseball is you never screw up a winning streak. In basketball, you never screw up positive momentum. Positive momentum. Remember when Brazil was good? It was a short little window there. Not great now, but still 42, 30, 30 34. Let's get to this. So Jim Harbaugh had to answer some questions about the allegations, and all this is the NC allegations and the findings from the Connor Stallions thing. And some of that is like he didn't want to turn over his cell phone. You know, they got him on a bunch of little different minor NCAA violations or whatever. The big one is that they had, all these practice and sideline passes that Connor Stallions had been a part of the Michigan football program. Here's Jim Harbaugh practiced yesterday. I don't know. Never once disrespected him, and sounds incredibly impossible. Incredibly impossible. Listen, I tend to agree with you. It seems far-fetched. I do learn about just about everything going on. There are some things that do surprise me, but I don't want any surprises sort of guy. Also, I would, the size and the vast, the program at Michigan is so much more vast. I'm willing to believe there are some things that he doesn't know about, that he doesn't have time for. I don't know if this is one of them. But the biggest offense is that none of us believe we can say he's weird, but he's always been a man of his word. He's pushed the gray area, but he hasn't gone in the black and white area. So I tend to believe him mostly because he hasn't given me any reason not to believe him previously. Even if it's fairly unbelievable that he wouldn't know everything that's going on with the summer program, I'm willing to believe that because of how big that program actually is. We're at 66-38, just getting started here in the third quarter with Team USA commanding lead on Brazil. I would say the only thing that's super interesting is Joel Embiid's played well. That's it. I got nothing else for you that's interesting about this game. Steph Curry's been okay, not particularly good, but other than that, Joel Embiid's been really good. But they haven't really been tested by the Brazilians. I don't think this is a substantially strong Brazilian squad, and this is the benefit of getting the number one overall seed. Other than that, I don't have a ton of takeaways from this game. Not a ton. But we continue to wait on the Brandon Aiyuk thing. And then, what's super weird? What's super weird is, and again, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but we have, which by anybody's account would be two really interesting super teams in baseball and two different kind of stories. And yet it's really hard to find a baseball topic. Like, Jay, we talk about this all the time. Yes, Yankees and Orioles are now tied with 67 wins and 46 losses. I guess that's sort of interesting, right? The Dodgers right there at 66 and 47 as well, but they're 5 games up on the Diamondbacks. We have the chance of Yankees, Dodgers. Obviously, there's the Phillies, there's the Orioles, there's the Brewers, there's some other teams as well. But it's just really hard to find anything interesting on a daily basis to talk about baseball. And I ask you every day, and even you who loves baseball can't come up with anything super